Oh dear. Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for match review of yesterday's performance. Whatever we're going to look at it, result, comeback. I don't know. Oh dear. This would have been last night, but literally it drained me that much. Now I've had other things to do, like calm down and soak things up and properly analyse it properly without going. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a bit pissed. Don't get me wrong, I will obviously during this review dig out the club and players involved, and to an extent Arteta as well, for yesterday's result. Right. So let's just get into it basically. Basically, as anyone that sort of watched along last night, started the stream off, somewhat content with the lineup. Made my points about Aubameyang being in the squad along with Lacazette, that basically for them both to be in the squad, Aubameyang clearly has been put in to appease and make him happy. It looked like it, because yet again, the 100th time this season, our club captain and top goal scorer apparently goes missing. Doesn't do fuck all. Doesn't show he cares. Doesn't lead by example. And surprisingly, in the end, he does get subbed off in the second half, near the end, in the last 10 minutes, but still. But nevertheless, we had a little doubt on that, but other than that, it was still good enough 11 plus bench to get a win out of West Ham. Even though West Ham don't get me wrong, West Ham are a fantastic team this season. They deserve they deserve to be where they are. Yeah, we had a good enough team to go there and give them a bob and possibly take 3 points. And the second half proved that. But the first 25 minutes, half an hour, we didn't do fuck all. We did, literally from the first whistle to the 30th minute, and they scored their third goal, all we did was literally just go, right, at the beach, relax. Always 1-0. Oh well. It's 2-0 2 minutes later. Oh well. Oh, it's 3-0 now. Oh, we're in the game now, are we? Okay, we'll turn up now. And that pissed me off. That actually pissed me off. And going back to that second goal, mainly, how many times this season is huge for Leno, has been huge for Leno, because of the implications of us selling Martinez for so cheap as well to Aston Villa, and not giving Martinez the chance he deserved, in my opinion. And yet, time after time this season, he has made mistakes and errors left, right, and centre. And this season's highlighted massively. Realistically, he isn't the goalkeeper, the number one goalkeeper we need to have going forward. If the club's intent of competing again and winning titles, he ain't the guy. He ain't the goalkeeper. But do I have faith in this club to do the right thing? No. I mean, we discussed this. Colin and Ryan number 2, as we say, RJ, basically brought up literally examples of other clubs in England, by the way, Man City and Liverpool, in recent years, had goalkeepers. But for example, the Man City situation, Pep comes in, drops Joe Hart straight away, goes against Claudio Bravo. And after one season, he realises that one season, no, not good enough. I need to go out and spend money again on someone even better and go that step further. And they went and done that and haven't looked back since. And Liverpool, the same situation. Klopp comes in, inherits Minglet, but he brings in carriers, 2 good goalkeepers to an extent, but not good enough to get you to be a title-winning team. And it took, in terms of carriers, it didn't take long. Minglet wasn't long enough, didn't take long. That's obviously when Karius came in as number 1, and then when Karius fucked up in the Champions League final, that was their final straw for Klopp. He went, ripped it all up and went, okay. But that summer he went out and got a top world-class goalkeeper in Alisson. And again, they haven't looked back. They've gone on to win the Champions League following season, and then the following season after that, the Premier League. I mean, this season, obviously, Alisson has made mistakes, but keepers do that. but not to the, and even world-class keepers do that, but not to the extent of what Leno does, or the standard of the level of what Leno is. Them sort of goalkeepers, there's a consistent thing. It's for us to be of the ilk of we want to win. The club wants to win titles. They have to then hold their hands up and say, well, we spent 24 mil or 25 mil, whatever it was, on Leno. It hasn't worked out. We now need to go and get someone else. And as I alluded to last night in the watch along, there was a goalkeeper in Milan who's currently coming to the end of his contract, who you could argue he's a massive upgrade on what we've got. And because of his age, he can still develop. He still hasn't peaked yet either. He's very, very, very young. Bloody, he's young. He's been around forever. It seems like he's been around forever. Donnarumma, but yeah, he's still very, very young, so he can still develop as well and improve his game. But it's good with Donnarumma. He is like Martinez in the sense of his height. He's got the height, so coaching him and training him because of how young he is as well. You can add things to his game, so he could be even better than Martinez down the line. And there's somehow, he's free. The only thing we've got to pay for is his wages and a signing-on fee. It's a no-brainer at this moment in time. Unless he obviously goes and signs a contract with Milan now, go and get him, please. For the love of God, or someone of that ilk, or whatever. Just go and hold it around and admit you've made the mistake with Leno, and we move on. And then he either stays as number 2, or he pisses off. Because he shouldn't be any goalkeeper worth their salt should not be getting done at their near post like that. Again, like I said, that goal again reminded me of flashbacks as that happened when I saw it of the 2006 final when Belletti scored the winning goal against us in the Champions League final, and then Amunyo got done at his near post. And it's it's concerning. It is concerning. I did have high hopes of Leno, but it hasn't worked out. So there we have to move on. Bellerin, wasn't in the squad at all yesterday. So there's warning signs there that suddenly he's not made 3 Premier League 11s now match day squad. I think he's on his way out. He's obviously upset the apple cart there because he's our vice captain, by the way. Mari had a weird one yesterday. For the first 2 goals, he switched off, especially the second one. They all switched off for the second one, but he was switched off. He wasn't completely with it. Not one of his best games by a long shot. And then the third goal. Let's not get started on the third goal. How are we allowing that cross to come in the first place for that goal? I don't know. But yeah, and then literally from that, we get ahead of ourselves. We suddenly turn up. We suddenly start playing the game and start attacking them. Because literally, in between them 3 goals, that first half hour, we did not even get the ball in that box, let alone lay a glove on bloody Fabianski. Testament leads, didn't do anything. Just going to pop into the chat because a few of you in the chat. Big up the other night as well. How are you doing? I checked, got away one yesterday coming back. Yeah, massively got away one because we got that comeback, because we got that point. If we come back and won, he would have fully got away with it with most of the fan base. Me personally, I'm still pissed with him and the players about that situation and why for 30 minutes of the first half they just didn't bother. Why did it take 30 minutes? And then you could see he'd gone in. You could see it just for the second half kicks off. He's gone in at him because he is sitting on the bench. The cameras panned in on him, and the coverage got over in the UK, panned in on him, and he is steaming. And you know he's laid into them. And then suddenly they come out with they come out with more purpose in the second half, and we literally set up in their half pretty much the whole second half pretty much. And West Ham only started going at us once we got to 3-3. And it was, as I said, when people were coming in, asking what the scored and how we're doing and all that, I was saying, no, it was end to end. It was literally back and forth, because both, it was literally match, like RJ said, match point. Next goal wins, basically. Sort of golden goal situation for the last 10 minutes of the game. But going back, obviously it's half time coming along anyway. Just going back slightly, Lacazette gets us back in the game. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, he gets the ball. Ball comes in from Chambers. He gets the ball, gets it off, has a shot. For me, it's going in. You can't say either way it's going on. It takes a slight deflection of Soychek. And then it obviously fully, because of the deflection, goes past Fabian's net and got a chance, basically. Getting in it anyway. It's not like Matt Dawson's goal, trust me. That's an own goal. Should have just for Aubameyang to fucking clear it. He wanted to clear it, but fucking hell, it was like he was playing for Arsenal. The irony. Oh dear. Jonathan saying, I saw on the quiz last night that Carriers has the best clean sheet percentage of all our recent keeps, including Alisson. Stats can be misleading at times because he only fucked up in the biggest games. Yeah, and let's be honest, that was it. He was only fully number one for what a season, wasn't he? For that one season. But yeah, and it wasn't really competitive the way it has become since then, the league-wise. So yeah, as you said, stats are misleading, massively misleading in them aspects. But trophies don't lie in your case, because since he's gone, you've got another goalkeeper in, and 2 out of them 3 seasons he's been with you, you've won a Champions League and an FA Cup and a Premier League title. And you've got 1 in 8 chance of winning the Champions League again this season. To salvage that, to be honest, if you were to win the Champions League this season, that was salvage what's been a horrible second half of this season. Because the first half of the season, you were up there. Obviously, you were again hit my house, heavily favourites to retain it. And he just felt just that after New Year, from New Year's Day, just for some reason, especially at home, he's just fallen off. But yeah, second half, come back with more intent. We're setting up count, going, and eventually, as I said, alluded to before, another fantastic cross, by the way, from Chambers. And Matt Dawson, for some bizarre reason, volleyed it and didn't just tap it. It wasn't like a tap volley. He pelted it into his own goal. Past Fabianski, made it 3-2 to West Ham, and then suddenly with 25 minutes to go, we have hope. And you're thinking, okay. And then I think Colin actually said in the stream, it would be just for Arsenal to turn up, go 3-0 down, and come back and win 4-3. And it almost happened, to be fair. But then, yeah, then it went again. Even though for the next 15 minutes we were setting up camp, pelting and going for that third. Literally, in the 80th minute, 79th, 80th minute, Aubameyang gets substituted off for Martinelli, which surprised everyone in the stream. We all thought Aubameyang was going to finish the game, because that's what usually happens with Arteta. And then the second within 30 seconds of him going off, bang, 3-3. Pepe with the ball in, Lacazette header, bang, 3-3, anything. And literally 10 seconds before that happened, I said, as the subs was being made, I literally said on air, there's no way with 10 minutes to go we're going to score 2 goals. And then suddenly my mindset changed. Obviously, it's going to change as soon as we scored the fucking goal 10 seconds later. I was like, oh, maybe we will. We could have, as I said, we could have done, and we should have done, really. But it was, for the last 10 minutes, it was stupid. It was literally end-to-end football in the end. And for the neutral watching that game, they would have loved that game, because it's goals galore, defences being, from both sides, being in the end crap. And yeah, some good attacking football. But for Arsenal fans, for most of the game, it was absolute fucking heartache and agony and anger, and all mushed into one. And then you've got West Ham, who for the last 45 minutes of the second half basically had that feeling of what the fuck. I think we could fucking bottle 3-0 there. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's just so bizarre. How we got anything out of that game from the after half hour is beyond me, but we did. And from that extent, the players and manager had to be given some credit for turning it around, but at the same time, as I keep saying, and I keep alluding to, not just now, but yesterday, it should never have taken us to go 3-0 down in the first half hour for us to go and go, oh, we're in a game. Oh, we best try now. Oh, here's a goal. It really pissed me off because, like, again, going back to what Colin said, this is so frustrating as an Arsenal fan because for the last 45, 55, about 6, for the last hour of that game, they showed us exactly what they're capable of. And it pisses me off. Why can't we do a full 90 minutes? Arteta's been in charge now for 14, 15 months now. There's no excuse. He hasn't just come in and was just getting used to his system. He's been in charge for 14 odd months. And we still can't play a full game of 90-minute football at our own level and dictate the game for 90 minutes against anyone. It pisses me off. But yeah, bit concerning as well after the match too. I think it was mentioned in the stream that Lacazette had come out in the first match interview saying basically for the first half hour, before the game kicked off, Arteta gave him instructions, and him and others, didn't name the others by the way, but you can tell, decided they did not want to listen to it. They wanted to do it their own way. And again, that is concerning. For a guy that's been in charge for 14 months, how is he now not in control of this squad now? And it is concerning. We're coming to the last knockings of the season. The only chance of European football next season is going to be winning the Europa League. That's the only realistic chance. And even then, playing like we did yesterday for the first half hour, his reasons why I don't think we will. So we're going to have no European football next season. And as I keep saying, for a guy that's been start the season back in the summer, that month off period, he was given targets for this season, and the targets was Champions League via League, number one priority. Worst case for that, Champions League via Europa League. Worst case scenario, Europa League via League. And as it stands, he's on the verge of failing all three. And that is sorry to be a sad ass, that is a sackable offence. Anyone else in any walk of life were given them sort of targets and their jobs in the time frame, coming into that time frame, they didn't get to near any of them and fell off and underperformed massively, they'll be out of a job. But it's like Colin said, it's not the manager is not the issue fully. It's experienced players that are letting us down constantly. But we do, it's like I sort of said to Colin in response was, I get what you're saying, but this does show, especially when you're hearing lots of Lacazette come out after that saying we basically couldn't bother to listen to Arteta. We don't respect. Basically, they don't respect him. Is what the gist of it. Basically, that's concerning. And you do need an experienced manager, an Allegri, Simeone type manager, a manager of that experience, to come in. Won't take this shit, that will fucking demand respect, not just at the down the line, straight from the off, and if you don't, you're out the door. Because, again, another flaw with Mikel and his management for the last 14, 15 months has been is too inconsistent with who he wants to be hardball with, basically. Well, for example, we'll keep going back to it, the Pepe situation back against Leeds early on in the season, gets sent off, gets straight away from Arteta, throws him under the bus. Line, he's a disgrace. What he's done is disgusting. He's the whole team down should be ashamed of himself. Live on national TV. Fast forward 7 days, Jekyll does the similar thing, grabs a Burnley player around the throat, gets sent off. Nothing said. Willian breaks UK lockdown protocol and travels to Dubai. Nothing said. and he's still he's not even dropped out of the squad. He's still in the matchday squads. It's taken how many disciplinary issues with Aubameyang for last Sunday for him to come out and say there's been X amount of issues. This was the final straw. He turned up late today, so I'm dropping him from the first 11 to the bench. He did not play, and then it's caused. And because he's outed him like that, that in itself caused even more animosity than the squad, because Aubameyang's like, well, fuck you, just throw me under the bus. But because he's so inconsistent, if he was, it's like for me, in my opinion, if attackers were consistent throughout, but every incident I've just mentioned and more, if he was consistent and going, right, I'm mounting you, I'm mounting you, I'm mounting you, I'm mounting you. None of this, I'm going to out you, but I'm not going to out you, and all that crap. Then I think players will be more on board. Or like to the last week, for example, Aubameyang be like, "You've outed me. I'm a bit upset that you've done that, but at the same time, you're not treating me different. You're doing it to everyone else. So, okay, I'll suck it up. We'll move on." It's no coincidence that since then, Aubameyang's performances have been even worse than what they were before. He's literally got his body language is like he cannot be bothered. He doesn't try. At least Lacazette tries. At least he gives everything. He'll leave everything which he'll get involved. And with this system Arteta's trying to implement, especially with the youngsters of Smith, Saka, Odegaard now in on loan, hopefully get signed up for a long-term contract in the summer. Martinelli and all that. He works with them. He's actually said he likes it. It benefits him in his style, in his own playing style. And he gets the best out of him. And we saw that since Boxing Day. We've been saying that, but for whatever reason, again, another fallacy of Arteta's management is he has his favourites, a bit like Wenger had his favourites, and no matter what, in form or not, especially if they're not in form, he'll consistently play them for no matter what. He'll start them no matter what. The ones that are in form, that are performing, that are giving everything on the pitch and contributing to the team and going in a positive manner, he's dropping and either putting them on the bench or completely dropping out the squad. And let's go back into the chat. Big up Russ, by the way. He's watching over on Facebook. I hope you're keeping well, mate. Work's go okay. For me, Lacazette was calling out some of his fellow players for letting Arteta down. I saw it as a moment of leadership from him to let these players know it was not acceptable. But even he, to an extent, if that's the case, even to him, to an extent, for that first half hour, wasn't doing anything. None of that 11 were doing anything for the first half hour. So, but I'll get what you're saying, because after that, as soon as he got an opportunity, to be fair to Lacazette, he took it, and obviously we got back into the game. In that sense, I get where you're coming from there. Back into the chat, FSG didn't buy our centre-backs till January 31st. Then it took Klopp to implement them into the team and combined the seasons. And then, yeah, exactly. There's that as well. But then again, to be fair to FSG and Klopp at the time, back in the summer window, the window that you did have, apart from that, I think, was the window closed by the time I can't remember now. I think the window was closed by the time Van Dijk got injured, or I think it was him that's been injured, one of the two. You still had Gomez and Matip and all that. And the basic hope was just to get through without Van Dijk, basically, until January and reassess and sort of go from there. But obviously, we all know what happened between now and the window, and yeah, even the centre backs he brought in, I'm a bit concerned about from a neutral's perspective, because even though you got Van Dijk coming back in this, he may not be, because of the sort of injury he's had. He may never be the same player, but again, because of how severe that injury was, and we've seen it with other players in other positions years gone by, have had a similar injury, come back and have not been the same. We need a centre back with Matip and Gomez's injury. Oh, I thought the window had already closed by then. Okay, but FSG didn't do it. They can't ball for that as well, Ryan. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying because I swear it was. I must have got it wrong. In my head, I thought the window had already closed by then before them injuries had happened. But mate, fucking our owners are no better. Trust me. Well, owner is no better. Believe you me. For years, we've needed a strike. We needed strikers. We needed at one point a striker, a clinical out and out striker, to come in, take the load off Giroud, and take us towards the title. Because Giroud, everyone knows, even you'll admit now, and even then you sort of said Giroud isn't going to win us a title. Full stop. As a first choice striker, he's not going to win us a title. Obviously, the Suarez situation, Higuain at the time, before he got overweight and lost his way, basically. Cavani was even linked with it once in one transfer window. Yep, who do we go and get? A goalkeeper in Petr Cech for free, and no one else in one summer. Didn't get a single outfield player for the first time in our history. And then the following season, after that debacle, and effectively it did cost us the title, because if we'd had a Suarez or Higuain of that ilk at the time, because Higuain at the time was a decent striker at the time, he wasn't what he's become. So he's going to Italy. We would have won that 15-16 title instead of Leicester. Nope. And yeah. And what do we go and do in the summer? Again, needing a striker. We don't go and buy a striker. That following the 16 summer, going to the 16-17 season. No, we've got and again, we were going for Vardy, Mahrez, and N'Golo Kante, who just won the league with Leicester. Did we get any of them? No. We fucked up every single one. First one being N'Golo Kante, who, by the way, who wanted to come to Arsenal. He was basically on his knees, making sure we're begging to make sure it was getting done. It was all but done, and then Ivan Gazidis went, well, actually, well, stat DNA proves that if he ain't going to be worth anything down the line, and actually, if we go and get this guy from pushing that back in that Switzerland midfielder, Granit Xhaka, he'll be worth more to us down the line. That stat DNA crap, and that fucked us over. I mean, for £5 million, go spend the extra £5 million and go and get a Premier League proven midfielder who just won the title, by the way. He's arguably the best in the world in his position at that time. Mahrez, again, the same summer, fucked that up. Vardy, same summer, fucked that up. So our ownership was no better, John. Trust me, believe you me. But I get where you're coming from in that case, because I thought Matip and Gomez had come back at the start of the season. I know they were injured at the end of last season, of the season at the end of it. But I thought they'd come back from injury and all that. I don't know, but teams do. I mean, teams do that, and obviously, two summer windows up till obviously this one just gone. Like last year, you hadn't brought anyone first team wise in the first place, because Klopp was of the mindset you don't do small squads. He didn't want to disrupt the flow of things, basically, in the harmony. But yeah, and this is another reason why I don't have faith in this board now, even more so now, because of the history gone by. And they go, well, they didn't have full ownership back then; they're full owners now. What they've done since becoming full-time owners, 100% ownership, to prove that they have Arsenal's interest at mind and not their own personal gain. All they literally care about is the money, and we are the money bank. As I said back in when they, obviously the season, the day we fell out of the Champions League by a point behind Liverpool, I was going to say now, literally that being a long time coming, and Kroenke was never going to sell his shares to Usmanov because he just see we are a club in London in the Premier League, and it's Arsenal. We are a brand to him. We are the big money bank at the end of the rainbow, and he uses us as collateral for his club franchises in the States. He's took out loans in our name to cover this. I guarantee it, to cover his beloved LA Rams, to build another new stadium. Guarantee it. So even if he sells up, there's loads of debt around our fucking neck because of him. And all this self-sufficiency doesn't get us anywhere. Leicester City was that one-off season because none of the normal the big teams normally go win a title. The Man City, us, fucking Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Chelsea. None of us turned up that season. None of us wanted the title that season. That was our best opportunity for a long time, for a good few years at that point, to win the title. We didn't bother turning up that season. We bottled it. But yeah, and this is why I don't have faith in this board and this owner to do the right thing in the summer. Either get rid of certain players, or he has to go, or both. Even if they were to sack Arteta, if he failed to make up the three objectives of getting European football, either Champions League, Champions League, or Europa League by the league. Even if he fails them and was to be sacked, I don't have faith in this board and this owner to go out and appoint first right, and it's not an angry someone of that gets to come in and rule with an iron fist. Take this sort of crap from the players, and we will see a philosophy. And people will go, well, Simeone, look at the player style. He still gets results. They're fucking, what? Level 26 games gone. There's a few games left of the season there in the La Liga. About 10, 11 games, give or take. They played Barcelona, played Madrid twice now. I think they played Barcelona twice. They've got Barcelona coming, I think, one of the two. But they're literally 6 points ahead of their rivals in the title race. As long as they beat the teams below them, as in the teams they're expected to beat anyway, they're going to win La Liga. And yeah, you could say, obviously, oh, we'll look at the Chelsea game. It happens. Over two legs, it happens. They took the team right. They didn't turn up. Tactically got messed up, and it backfired. People do make mistakes, and managers make mistakes, but not to the level where what Arteta's doing. Unai Emery, for all the crap he went through and has been put through with this club, has a better win percentage and a loss to percentage than Mikel Arteta. And Arteta's been in the job now around the same about the same sort of time that Unai Emery was. Difference being, Mikel Arteta has been backed by his board and the ownership in the sense of he's been given full control to transfers. He's been allowed to get rid of who he doesn't want. He's been allowed to bring in the players he wants. And the only positive I can take with Arteta at the moment is that, apart from Willian, I think now, because he brought in Cedric Suarez, no issue there. Marley hasn't been a problem. He obviously had a bad game yesterday, but it happens. From Marley, Thomas Partey. I'm trying to think now. Martin Odegaard on loans to Barca on the London game, but technically that was Arsenal thing by the looks of it, because let's not go there, because he was technically brought in the first under Unai Emery, so I don't really class Tobias as a Arteta signing. And even though Odegaard's on loan, it's still a player he wanted. So yeah, Mari, Cedric, Odegaard, Willian. Willian's the one that hasn't worked out. I think on one Van Arsene. That's a fuck up in their part. So apart from Willian and Van Arsene, the signings he has made, they've all worked apart from the two players, Van Arsene and Willian, because Van Arsene's just crap. Not beat around the bush. He is crap. The ball gets hit. You should be kept. He wasn't even fucking power. He should be catching it. Let's be honest. He isn't good enough. They panicked. They got rid of fucking Martinez. They saw the backlash of getting online about it, and they panicked and went, "Oh fuck!" They fucked up the David Raya thing, so they went off and got the next best thing in their opinion, suggested by the fucking new goalkeeping coach, because he's worked with him before, and that backfired. And so I think he's been sacked down the back of that. The end of the season, he's gone. Goalkeeping coach in question. So that's going to be interesting. So in that sense, there is positive, but it doesn't weigh out the negatives outweigh the positive massively at the moment. And it is frustrating because, as I said, for 60 minutes for that 90-minute game, we showed how good the players showed how good they really are and what they can do, and the sort of threat they do pose. It does piss me off. I'll probably do it for 90 minutes. 15 months into his job, Arteta, why can you not demand this level of expectancy now that 90 minutes of football, you turn up now? End of. If you have owners that don't care, your club will underachieve. Even FSG, they have done okay, but you can tell they don't care as much. As the Man City owners, Kroenke and the Glazers are the same or worse. Oh, of course we are, yeah. But the thing is, the FSG as well. Yeah, you can say they don't. You can see they don't care, but at the same time, when they try doing that, I think the turning point for them, in terms of actually, you know what, we're going to sort of show some sort of intent and go and get X, Y, and Z, like Jurgen Klopp in and this, and somewhat show the fans we are trying, is when they tried raising ticket prices of Liverpool games. Was it £72? Is it £72? Yeah, I think it's £72 per ticket for just general ticket for general ticket, general sale. That's it, and all that malarkey. Ticket prices all got up to £72 basically, and as soon as your fans got wind of that, the next home game that came up from that news coming out was Sunderland at home. You went 2-0 up, and it was in the public knowledge that basically 72nd minute, Liverpool fans had planned a protest to walk out in the 72nd minute, no matter what the score was, no matter what, walk out the stadium, go home, and they did. And the fact that happened, and then not just the fact that it's not the fact that you walked out in the 72nd minute and you stood by your word, you guys, but the aftermath in that. In the remaining minutes of the game, went from winning 2-0 to drawing 2-1 and almost losing 3-2 to Sunderland. And suddenly suddenly that game went, okay, we won't do that now. And then suddenly, fast forward a few years, you've gone and got Jurgen Klopp, you've had to sell players to buy players as well, so you've had to do the self-sufficient thing, but at the same time, the funds that have been made from the sale have been made every 100% available to Jurgen Klopp to go and get your Van Dijks, your Alissons and all that to improve and to be champions of Europe again. Because I have no doubt, if the fans hadn't done that, or they had done that, but it hadn't had any effect in that result of that game, Liverpool wouldn't be where they are now. You might disagree with me, but it's just how it's all spiraled from that point. FSG bought Liverpool when we were low, sort of potential structured the club. Once we are top side, they don't care. Well, yeah, exactly. They've gone back to what the mindset of what they had when they first brought you guys. It does seem to be an American thing, because what we call football, what they call soccer, isn't their main objective, their priority. Basically, doesn't really bother them. We're just a Premier League club that they own, that looks good on their CV, basically. But yeah, what else to say? I've pretty much said what I've got to say about the game itself and my thoughts and things. Away from it, sort of looking forward to the end of the season and all that malarkey. I'm sort of thankful that it's international break in one sense, because now Arteta's got 2 weeks of the players that are not going away in international duty. It's got 2 weeks to work with them. And once it do go off, need to get their head out their asses, i.e. Aubameyang. Because if he comes back with a fucking Gabon, the same fucking attitude, he shouldn't be starting. I'm sorry. Just because he's club captain doesn't mean that he should be starting. I'm sorry. That's never been a rule at any club. I was just pissed. He hasn't done anything this season to merit just walking in the team anyway. Well, he scores a couple of goals here and there. Yay! And out of Lacazette and Aubameyang, just to finish up, out of Lacazette and Aubameyang, going forward to this summer, all I'm hearing on social media and other channels is, it looks like Lacazette. We should sell Lacazette. Lacazette's got to be the one that goes. Got to keep Aubameyang. Why? Lacazette's actually giving a shit. He's actually putting the graft in and actually working within the actual system itself. Aubameyang's got a new contract and decided to do an Ozil on us and not bother turning up at all this season. And you can only use the situation with his mum being ill so much, to an extent. Now she's back. What's this? Why? Go up to last Sunday against Tottenham. He was still in a bad form. What was the excuse then? Before this recent incidents happened at Arsenal with Arteta and him, what was the excuse? Because his form was dipping in and out. He scored once in a blue moon. Yay! Well, it's because he scored a winning goal and got through against Benfica. Woohoo! All's forgiven. Fuck off. Players behind me on that wall, or both walls, are more committed and gave more than what he ever did, even on their fucking worst days. If anything, I'm going to reverse it and say we should sell Aubameyang. Who would take him, I don't know, but we should just fucking send him and keep Lacazette. Out of the two, if we have to sell one of the two, I'd rather keep Lacazette at the moment, because he's actually trying his hardest. He's actually giving something. He's leaving everything on the pitch to an extent until literally he is shutting has to come off the pitch because he's run himself into the ground. Yeah, he's had a good performance here and there, but not to the level of fucking Aubameyang this season. And hopefully, I keep saying this, but he never does. Arteta has learnt from yesterday as well. Again, he never, like I said, doesn't seem like he does, but in the sense of Arteta and Aubameyang starting in the same team, the formation he uses does not fucking work. End of. The only time it ever worked was under Unai Emery in his full season. His first and only full season, it worked. Hasn't worked since. It won't work again. Especially in the formation he's playing in. He ain't going to change formation anytime soon, let's be honest. So he needs to learn. And don't just shoehorn Aubameyang into the squad just to appease him now. To not risk upsetting him. If he's upset, he has to fucking earn his place back in the squad now. Tough, I don't care. You talk about all these non-negotiables and Roy Van Iron fit, We need to get back. We need to change this mentality of this club. We'll show it. Prove it. Should have just bending the knee every time to fucking up the likes of Aubameyang and Granit Xhaka all the time whenever they fuck up, or Willian. Stand up to him. Be the manager, be the man in charge. But you won't do that. And this is another reason why things won't change with him in charge with these players. And let's be honest, the only way that things will change at this club is if, as it stands, the way things are going, is if Mikel's got rid of, we're bringing in an Allegri or Simeone type manager. Something else, I'm using the names as an example, or Rafa Benitez as well. Managers of that ilk that will come in and won't take the shit. That also will be back still to get rid of the remaining crap in this club. The likes of Aubameyang, out you go. Granit Xhaka, out you go. Willian, piss off. Etc. Until we're left with the players that actually do give a shit. And we go from there. Half of Aubameyang's goals have been in 2 games. The rest of the time he has been awful. Yeah, since you're echoing what I said about Laka as well. Exactly. Since Aubameyang signed their team, literally days before we played Fulham, first game of the season we played Fulham, and he scored a brace. It looked like he started the season as he meant to go. Has started the season as he ended the last. Scoring goals. Signs their team 4 days later. And since then, he has been fucking abysmal all season. Suddenly, he can't battle for the ball. Gets pushed off the ball too easily. He misses clear and open goal scoring opportunities. Literally goals it was scored in areas he was scoring from last season and the season before and the season before that. But yeah, suddenly he gets 250, 300k now, whatever it is. Suddenly, I can't do that. What? Oh, the reason I've been doing this because fuck off. You can understand when it first came out about his mum. You can you can understand to a point. Fair enough. Maybe that's been distracting you for however long that's going. Don't know how long it's been going back. So maybe that's distracted you at first, but that's his bet. He's been since that came out. 3, 4 days later, it came out. So he's better. He's coming back. Like there's no improvement in his performances. Once in a blue moon since he's come back from visiting his family and his mum and all that, make sure she was okay, and she recovered. Since then, on the Newcastle game, he scored 2. Was it Newcastle? No, he scored 1. That's what's wrong. I was literally wasn't well enough to host it, so I handed that over to Gary and the guys to host, and I was just in the background, literally doing the goal stuff and all that. He scored 2, and Saka scored 1, didn't he? Yeah. So he scored 2 there. He scores 1. So he scored 2. Benfica was that. So he scored 2. That's 4 goals in the second leg. Try to think. Burnley, that's 5. I think is that 5 goals? Not maybe someone else. Burnley was Burnley. Palace was 0-0. Man United was 0-0. City we lost 1-0. Leicester City. Trying to think Leicester City. He scored against Leicester. Okay, hell. Either way, he's basically he's got either 5 or 6 goals since January. We're now in mid-March. The amount of games we've been playing, it should be for the player of his quality and ilk. It should be scoring more than that. But it is what it is. But if you're criticising, you're not an Arsenal fan. If you criticise the club, you're not an Arsenal fan. If you criticise the manager, you're not an Arsenal fan. What? So we just be blindly following the club now and going, okay, no problem. Everything's hunky-dory. It's absolutely bizarre. But yeah. Oh, dear. Go back and chat to what anyone's got to say. before I wrap things up, content-wise, I am planning from Friday and over the weekend. I'm probably not going to do anything because I've got to have my wisdom, one of my wisdom teeth taken out. So literally, if it depends on how I feel, I might do content then, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I am planning two podcasts this week actually. One Arsenal, one Premier League based still, but not Arsenal. Well, fully Arsenal content basically. So yeah, once I sort them out, I'll let you guys know on that. What international do we got? When does the internationals actually kick off? Actually, at some point. That'd be that. What about Wednesday? Right. I mean, Turkey v Holland, Belgium v Wales. Might do a watch long on Wednesday for the Belgium v Wales game, maybe. If England aren't playing, but I think England are. So I might do a watch long for that. Belgium v Wales. World Cup qualifier. Thursday, what we got for Thursday? Thursday, I can do the England versus San Marino watch along because obviously being English and England fan, and obviously Arsenal watch as well because of Saka, and even though Maitland Niles like even the team, isn't he? The irony goes to West Brom, get more game time and all that, and then gets dropped at the England squad. But yeah, Saka watch basically for that. And again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is going to be a play it by the ear basically. Just going through the fixtures. I'm switching my phone, going through fixture list now. Oh, bloody hell. Phone's just gone divvy. Albania v England on Sunday. So if I'm feeling able enough and up to it, I can do a watch long on Sunday for Albania versus England as well. And yeah, we'll go from that. But yeah, definitely I've got 2 podcasts planned this week, so I'm going to have to fit them in between the watch longs as well. Just again, keep the content flowing. Keep the content flowing during this international break, and also talking to Mark as well about dates for bringing back the quiz, just for the international break finishes and all that jazz. Before Liverpool get sort of hyped and a bit of a positive attitude before Liverpool come to town and batter us off the Enrich pitch. Because they will do that. Because if it's at Anfield, I'd have some faith. But it's not at Anfield, so we're going to lose. If you know, you know. To be actually know and saying that, if it was at Anfield, we'll be the only club in the country that would go to Anfield in the form that Liverpool are in at home as well, and go, "Hi Liverpool, there you go. Have a goal. Have 2. Have 3." Did it yesterday against West Ham for fuck's sake. But yeah. If you're new to the channel, you like this review, or you've gone back and watched the other content like the watch along highlights that I was uploaded earlier on today. So if you haven't already, go and check that out. Basically, like, if you missed the full watch along stream yesterday, you don't want to go back and watch the whole bloody thing. But you want to catch the key points of my stream, the watch along that we did. After every game, I do go back, grab the clips up, and I'll put it out. I do put out a highlights show, basically, and usually it's around 20-25 minutes. Today's one was half hour long because there's a few bits that we sort of went into where the clips were a bit longer than what they should have been, they would normally be. But yeah, so that's in that. So that's there as well. Go and check that out as well. Smash the like button there. I guess another thing, do smash the like button, because the more likes we get, the more notice YouTube give us worldwide, basically. And then obviously try and attract more new faces, more new regulars to the channel as well, and grow the platform. Oh dear, because I ain't stopping here. I ain't stopping at 1.69 I'm at the moment in subs. I'm not stopping. 1,690 odd subs are currently at. And I'm not stopping. Obviously, I'm not going to stop. I want to grow this channel as much as humanly possible until it can't be done, until it physically cannot be done anymore, until literally I can win everything and there's nothing else to do. And by then, obviously, that in that case, the channel we actually, hopefully, touch wood, will be huge. But it takes time. It takes long, hard graft. That's always been the case, not just for myself, but for other channels as well. For Ryan and Colin, Colin does on his channel. Ryan, what does on his channel. Ryan, for the other Ryan, what he does on his channel. Gary, what he does. Joel with his boxing channel, he does. We all are grafting our arses off to make something out of these our respective channels. It ain't gonna stop, no matter what anyone says or says about us or does. We provide what we believe is good content. If what we were doing wasn't good content, we wouldn't be getting the subs or the views or the likes or you guys is coming back constantly, interacting with us in live chats, etc. That wouldn't be happening. So block out the haters, because there are some, as we know, and we move on and just focus on the positives as always. But with that, I'm going to wrap things up. Again, as I said, thanks again for coming along, John, Cheddars, Steve the Arsenal Misfit, and everyone else that's been in the chat as well. Absolutely loving the interaction again with you guys. And, Russ as well, that was it. Over on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely love the interaction. As I said, if you're new to the channel, do smash the like button. Go check out the other content we've been putting out for the last 24 hours. Either the full watch along or the highlights watch along early this morning. Go and smash the like button over on that as well. Smash the like button here. Share the content around. Share the channel around. And yeah, as always, until I'll say what one day today. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday you'll see me for the Belgium watch along or podcast tomorrow. Until then, as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners!